I'm not just jumping in. Welcome to Pro Trade Room Plus, new home sales. My name is Lee Goldstein, Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right. If I were going to trade new homes live, all right, when it trades by itself, and I probably have a template for it, I'm sure that I do. New homes, gold, going back to July, okay? It's a 10 o'clock event, 9:59:59 on the activation, the breakout. A bracket of 8, targets of 7 and 18 with a stop of 13. And if it hits my first target, I'm going to use the target 1 stop move feature to move my stop automatically to break even -2. So if it hits target 1 for 7 ticks, stop's going to move to break even -2 automatically while it looks to get the second target of 18 ticks. That's our new home setup. Okay, not that complicated. Couple of things that are making it difficult today. All right, let's check our bracket size. One of the things that makes it difficult is the behavior of gold. Gold's got a pretty big trend going on at the moment from news, from overnight, from, since we got here, gold's been pushing up, 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 up. And also, remember, what did we say about why that trap trade this morning might have been tougher? Because there were a few that didn't reverse. One of the reasons we were being conservative, possible no reversals on flash manufacturing. And that's exactly what we saw this morning. Not good reversals. So new homes, just a bracket of 8, targets of 7 and 18. And you could do 7 and 22. Doesn't have to match my targets exact. Stop of 13. If it hits my first target, I'm using target 1 stop move feature to move my stop to break even -2. And then we're going to set the time just quickly to 0 just to check our bracket size. Now look, way too small of a bracket. Sometimes it's also tricky to get a good bracket when look at the push that flash manufacturing did. It was a very big push on the news. That was a big, big push. The news was quite negative. The Fed, you could say that the Fed is succeeding at, slowing the economy, right? That's kind of what the Fed wants to do. Slow the economy to slow inflation. It's really a miserable situation to be in. So it's a 10 o'clock event, 9:59:59. And after this, we're staying in the room for oil. We'll do a little review and then we'll go to oil. So, sometimes if you're new here, regulars know, regulars know that we don't trade everything, that the way you can do the best is by picking the battles, right? Going to the website time.is to make sure our computer is in sync. Okay, you want your computer in sync, but we want to pick our battles. It's real simple. We want to trade the reports that give us the best opportunity of profit. Now, very simply, I could have chosen just to do a breakout on gold on flash manufacturing, and today I'd be a hero. But the reality is the testing was mediocre, and the trap trade testing was fantastic for 3 months. But what that tells you is, and the euro testing on the breakout was good. What that tells you is we've got a report that we've been struggling to find a consistent setup on. So I chose to be conservative and keep an eye on it instead. Had I done what I really thought I wanted to do, it would not have been a good outcome because I was feeling that the trap made the most sense. But the current market conditions might have helped talk us out of doing that trap. Okay. That gold pushing, 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 pushing can sometimes make an event much harder to act as expected. So there's a lot of nuances. It's not just here's a report, trade it. It's not how it works. All right. Just remember, simulated, we're down $315 when we get our values. I don't want to reset the account right now because I'd have to re-enter my software. So just remember we're not at zero when we calculate the euro. Oh, sorry, when we calculate the gold breakout. Really all we have is a gold breakout on new homes. And there were some very interesting things that we noticed that I noticed on this morning's movement. The pound had a gigantic move on the German news, a really big move. And it looked like a very tradable, profitable move if you had a setup for the pound. That was a little bit interesting to notice. All right, so we've got a minute and 10 seconds, new homes. You can see the market does what it tends to do as we get closer to 10 o'clock and news on the opens. That first half hour is pretty volatile, especially if there's news, which is not that common for there to be a news report between the open and 10 o'clock. Most of the reports are at 10, not 9:45. That's unusual. It's a very unusual time for an event. So new homes, we have an eight bracket, and I think new home sales will be up. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying what I think about sales. It's incredible, but housing sales are not dead because interest rates are up. Okay, here's our brackets. Okay, the news is out. They're up. You notice not much of a reaction. Okay, it did react to the downside. It did react to the downside. Hits the first target. Now you notice that my stop moved automatically to break even minus two. I would move it to break even plus one. Okay. Maybe I would move it even more to protect more profit, right? Because right now you've got target one, 7 ticks in your pocket. Why not increase the target, right? And just trail manually as the price goes down, if it continues down. If it reverses, okay, it reversed, so you wound up with a 11, $110 profit possible on that event. And now look at the change in direction. So that was probably, you could have probably gotten closer to $200 if you took your profit down at the bottom of the price. But look, so there are setups for people that want to trade lots of reports. I mean, I would say that new homes could cost you, if you traded that, it could have cost you about $220 or so. If you look at, okay, we used a stop of 13, right? So that's a risk of $260. It could have made about 190 under good conditions. The possibility was to make about 190. It's very difficult to decide if you should trade that because you don't have the consistency of new homes trading the same way all the time, month after month. So it falls into that category of, it's certainly not a family money trade, but it is a trade that doesn't normally blow up an account. It has a pretty set risk and it has a pretty set reward. So there are plenty of people that would take that trade. It would not be completely unreasonable to take it. We did not take it because it still does not fulfill trade the reports that give you the best opportunity for profit. It doesn't fall into that category. I would qualify it as a report that gives you occasional profits. It's a report that can give you occasional profits. It's not a disaster report. It's not super high risk, but I think everybody understands the concept, right? You understand the concept. There's certain trades you just always take them because they are have a history of great profit. They have a great recent history of working really well. There's a lot of reasons why you pass on one report and you don't pass on another. And there's many reports that fall into that middle where, yeah, you could trade it. Yeah, it might give you a profit, but it might stop you out as well. Okay. And honestly, new homes is in that category where it's inconsistent in particular because it doesn't trade the same way every month. Next month, new homes might be trading with CB consumer confidence, and we will not even be paying attention to new homes on that month. We'll be paying attention to consumer confidence because it's much more important. All right, so we do have oil coming up. So a whole other ball game today. Now, what's interesting is the euro had a consumer confidence report at 10 o'clock, and we've never seen much movement on that report. If you notice, the euro at 10 o'clock didn't really do much. They have a very meaningless consumer confidence report. Doesn't really affect the euro. So the key is to learn the nuances of doing this type of trading. I'll say it over and over. It's not just you get a report, a DMM, trade it without thinking, right? Now, in the case of new homes, we don't have a report because it's never been a consistent enough event. I could make a new homes DMM for just when new homes trades by itself. That would not be an unreasonable DMM to make. But that's the way, and this is the last I'm going to say about new homes. That's the way you have to look at it. When it trades by itself, it has a setup that some people would find perfectly okay to trade. They're willing to take the risk. Okay? Any questions? We covering a lot in a very short period of time. All right. So oil, let me just do some